So today is the day I stop avoiding my deep, deep love and I quit ignoring her needs. We're gonna go in there, we're gonna check out what is actually surviving, because while I've been out here just to get beautiful things for the house and pluck the tomatoes that are easy to reach and ignore the tomatoes that are rotting on the vine, there's still so much that we need to do to turn this over for fall. And we're always gonna shout out Vego in our garden videos, so thank you, Vego, for sponsoring this. I'm gonna give you an update on how our irrigation system is that we installed last time and our beds with our trellises. Where?
What?
It's by the hens again.
The hens or the males?
Voila.
4 more eggs?
Why?
Isn't this where it was yesterday?
No, yes.
This is not a nest. The garden looks really
Green?
fruitful
The
and
garden
green.
looks green. We've had obscene amounts of rain this summer, so the garden looks green. Now, there is fruit to be had. Let us look. The basil is sadly being overshadowed, and honestly, we're just gonna pillage all these leaves. But the crooked neck squash
Hey, that's
is
working.
doing a job. It is actually working, which is crazy. But do you see how much I pruned back? It was just completely covering the bed. And this is my deal with squash. I'm like, so many leaves for, at least this one's fruiting. I have another with so many leaves and so little fruit.
So I heard that we need more phosphorus. So we need a
Yes.
heavier dose of phosphorus. I think our nitrogen is doing good. The greens,
If it's light green, it's gonna be a nitrogen issue. But you're saying because there's low fruit, it's a phosphorus issue?
well, we are getting great green growth, but low
That was hard to say.
fruit
Yield.
yield.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That makes sense. And there's a lot of green.
So I think our cow manure
We have
evidently is
lots.
having a lot of nitrogen,
Yeah.
and we need more phosphorus.
Well, we add it in. We can sprinkle it on. There's so much to maintain on these beds. In fact, on our next video, I think it's going to be time to turn everything over for a fall garden. And the cool thing about fall in Texas is we can do brand new tomato seedlings. We can do so many fresh, like, we could do a whole nother round of corn here. We can do all of our pumpkins starting in August. So we have so much length in our season ahead of us that I don't feel like we squandered the summer, because there's still so much more. It's summer, and boy do our gardens get thirsty. If you can put in a watering system that stands up to Central Texas summers, you can garden anywhere, my friend. Last month, we installed Vego's new irrigation system. Y'all, I am in love. Anything that helps me grow an abundance and enjoy this garden space more has me at hello. Unlike many other watering systems that we have tried, with Vego, we have completely customizable options. Multi-directional nozzles, scheduled timers, misters, and soakers. I have put this irrigation system to work. And y'all, I can vouch this is the best one that we have ever had in place. If I have something in the center that needs extra attention. Oh, and they're dense, look.
No, I know.
These are like rigid.
I know.
Ooh, that's fun. You just shoot somebody who walks by. That is super cool. Because they love our audience and want you to grow the most, Vego has given you exclusive discounts in the links below. Vego beds are really good at growing grass. And the gomphrena that seeded last year, this bed needs some fall love. But remember, we're still playing the dead dad card. Bo's dad passed away right at planting season, and we have just never added to that. However, something we did get in the garden in one of my favorite Vego beds
Whoa.
are all these zinnias.
I've never seen this color.
Yeah, these are my favorite. This was a batch from Eden Brothers. And these ones, and then this blush over here also. It's like really pale pink. Now they're really small, and I do think we could do something with the amendments in the soil where these would be a little bigger. These are a Lilliput one, a Lilliputian maybe. These are supposed to be small, but I think these other ones should be larger. However, they're doing great. Zinnias are supposed to grow straight up, and when they don't, they're gonna try to grow straight up anyways. So they'll get these little like coily ends if they're not actually growing to the sky and you have to. Let me see if I can find 2 different zinnias real quick. So this one is nice and solid if you zoom in. See how you shake it and it doesn't flop? This when you shake it, it doesn't really flop much, but this is a new, let's see if we can find a soft one. So this one's very floppy at the top. It's not quite ready. If I pick this one now, it's going to be very soft at the top and it's gonna flop over in my vase. I think I probably have a few more like that. This one's a great example. So you wiggle it here and it's kind of crazy. That one's not gonna hold up in a vase. This one is a little stronger. This one barely wobbles at all. Like it's wiggling, but from the stem, lower on the stem, like here. And the first year I did zinnias, I'd pick them when they were just beautiful, and then I'd take them inside and they were all like womp womp, and it was really sad. So a friend of mine who gardens said, do it this way and hold out a little longer, and they do great now. So these gomphrena are like a little puff ball, and I have them growing in 1, 2, 3 of these Vego beds. And none of these beds have suffered even through our summer. I haven't even gotten the new Vego systems for irrigation on these yet, but they're doing a great job of like housing. I think I even have chive in here somewhere, housing the jungle that's growing on this half of the garden. But last year, this half of the garden was absolutely outrageous. So I don't feel bad about the way we're maintaining it. And remember, we're coming for your like average to below average gardening. If you're on here and you manage squash really well, please give me some tips, because these have so many leaves, but so little fruit. And this has been growing for months. It could have been our cold weather. We probably only hit steady 90s in the last 2 weeks, and so that could be it. But usually our summers are just so hot, so I have no idea what to do. And our squashes always have vine borers, so like zucchini, I can never grow it. But this is doing well, and we're getting some fruit, so I feel like that's better than nothing. These tomatoes have given their all.
So many.
They have given us so much all summer, and it's still kicking a little bit.
Ollie's in there making mayo and tomato sourdough sandwiches.
Yes.
What is that called? I guess that's it.
It's just a tomato sandwich.
Yeah.
But I did just send our mayo recipe out in an email. So if you guys want to be part of that email list, we're sending out summer recipes all summer. And if you like them, then we'll keep sending out summer recipes. So get on that email list and you'll get something from us each time we send out a new video. So I think the trellis has held up really well. This one was put to work. And so at some point along the way,
oh man,
we suffered a casualty. The kit, when we got it, had tons of string, probably enough to do this 3 times. So we can restring it, or we can just repair this broken part, and it will take 5 minutes. There's more tomatoes in this bed, and this is the bed that has, it's one of 3 that has the irrigation system on it, and it's fantastic.
Kelly's gonna continue the little midsummer tour, but I'm gonna cut in a second and tell you about Vego's irrigation and me, the person who's comes out here to mow and weed eat and everything. I cannot stand this flimsy drip irrigation stuff, but Vego's tubes and connectors are so solid that you can just weed eat right through them.
The tomatoes are starting to show summer. However, I usually get this kind of summer energy in June, and we're almost to August, and I feel like they're the little engine that could. I've got Romas that are still going over here. I do think the tiger lilies have like given their most joy. They're so small, and these look like the kind that right before they're just gonna like fall off, like they're not getting enough energy. So we could maybe put a little bit more amendment in the soil just at the base of this plant and then see if it revives. But we've had such unexpected cool weather, like in the 80s, 85. We haven't even hit 100 yet this summer. So Bo and I are kind of holding our breath, and we're like, are we just not gonna have summer? Are we gonna have a really insane fall and winter? we don't really know. So we're just chugging along with the garden 1 week at a time. I think these are pretty much, this one is done. I don't think there's even any more flowers. No more blooms on this one. So we should take her out. And then we'll probably do corn in this bed because it's just done. We haven't done any corn yet this season. So we'll probably get some in the ground right quick and just start renovating all of these beds toward the next season. Speaking of renovations, not a Vego bed, but when Bo was in here mowing, he was so annoyed with these trees that were sitting in there and not growing and dead for the last 2 seasons that he was like, why waste this dirt? Let's repurpose the dirt into these beds, which I was gonna have to haul dirt into anyway, so good job, babe. You made it happen. I'm so excited. But it does look like a tree graveyard right here.
I want to show you something that I did learn. Now we ran out of the tubing. We just had a little bit left, so we need to get some more tubing. But look at this. You can attach this system, Vego's great irrigation system, to a wooden bed. All you have to do is just put 1 screw in and it attaches to any wooden bed. Now, these are made and are way better for Vego's bed.
And so much easier.
Oh, so much easier, but it does actually work. But I want to share this with you. Like, you see this tube right here, how strong this is? And
Let's
then
look at it compared to this one.
well, hold on, then come over here. This guy is straight metal with a coating. But let me share with you
what we were working with before. So these are, we probably purchased this one as a like addition to our original. And this is just on Amazon. It's flimsy and we have lawnmowered over this. We have lost parts that are connected to it, all from just weed eating and trying to maintain our garden. I like a grassy garden because I like to walk barefoot in here and not on mulch or gravel, which is always going to get weedy anyways.
But this, when you weed eat, it just, it like wraps in there and rips and tears, and then you have to repair it. I know that you can bury it, but it still will do it because whenever you have to go from bed to bed. I'm a fanboy for Vego's irrigation. In terms of functionality and being able to maintain your garden for mowing, for weed eating.
Season to season,
yes.
too.
Oh, I cannot wait to get everything on this side Vego's irrigation.
Here's the difference between the trellises. This is a whole season. I think we planted these back in maybe March. All the tomatoes. These tomato plants are still doing so well. And in fact, they're doing exactly what I wanted. I had an idea of coming through the garden and not just picking tomatoes like down here, but picking them all the way up and over. So I've really gotten exactly what I wanted. So the tomatoes did really well through this. And in fact, even as they continue to grow, I could literally just take the soft parts and bend them through, which is great. And then the side branches, the side leaves, we can use as kind of like the prop to keep it from slapping back in the opposite direction. So it's great, but this requires so much more training than the rope trellis. So I think for efficiency, the rope trellis is better. However, like beauty is rarely efficient. So it was good to take this time, and it was such a cool summer that it was really enjoyable. And Georgia just keeps coming out here. And when there's a bad tomato, she'll throw it over the fence and the chickens come running. And we saw a duck eat a tomato whole the other day. But from our summer, we've had a lot of like split tomatoes, or even here you're gonna see some on the vines that we just didn't even clean up yet. However, these have been fantastic snackers. I think there were some orange ones over there that were just so sweet. It was like a flavor bomb. They were so, so good. And then these pear tomatoes have been really great, and we're just slicing them up and putting them on sandwiches. So I do have a bacon lettuce tomato dip that I should probably include in this email that we're gonna send out right now for this video. And it's so good with like a super simple sourdough discard cracker that we'll also include in an email recipe. So this is the snack size bed number 1. The strawberries are still in here and they are still flowering and in some ways still fruiting sort of like that mutant summer fruit where they're like, I'm a tired strawberry, I don't want to keep going. But we planted this bed with berries knowing that our goal is next year's strawberries, not necessarily this year. And in just reality, I don't think we're going to be able to keep the moringa in here and get the fruit out of this bed that we need to. We just realized we're closing so much shade in.
Gracious.
But this is the biggest that Miss Moringa has grown ever. Like even at our house in Houston, she never grew this big. Like this tree would grow and maybe hit my height and then be done. But this tree is growing with a capital G.
This is a tree.
That is the biggest.
This thing is
and she shot
8 foot
off.
tall.
So maybe we can't. Maybe we can't take anything out. If she survives the winter, I'd be shocked.
Well, I mean, don't hate on a moringa
But yeah,
in your
this
garden.
is a secondary shoot.
Oh, wow. That is insane. I mean, like here, I'll show you the size of this. I mean, it's almost a broomstick. I guess that is a broomstick size.
Yeah, I'd say broomstick.
So we need to get
Propagate.
honey. We could give honey some of that.
Yeah, we could. So the gomphrena grew really well in here and I didn't plant it. So 10 points for the gomphrena. Tomatoes over here and a few peppers. I have a friend who just gave me a salsa recipe. I've only ever made fresh salsa or salsa with like canned tomatoes. So we're gonna do this by either roasting or I think you roast them. Or you maybe steam them and loosen the skins and then we start with that. Perennials are amazing. These are the Ruellia, which is not, it's as easy to say as rural juror.
This isn't for TGS, it's for my movie. The Rural Juror has a limited release next week.
Oh, congratulations. I didn't know they had a release date for for that movie.
The Ruellia are growing and we haven't planted these since 2017 or 2018, I guess is when we actually moved in. We planted these then and they just keep coming back. We should probably put these all over the property. Bell peppers that we thought were gonna be jalapenos, also doing well. The only thing that has suffered in this bed, what I'm shocked by, is somewhere under here.
Did we kill the comfrey finally?
Well,
man.
Don't slant. But somewhere under here, the comfrey lies.
No, wait.
Rest in peace, comfrey.
No, it's right here.
Oh, good. You found one?
Well, a little bit.
So the comfrey's really hard to kill. I don't think it's going to be a big problem. Once we take these peppers out, the comfrey's just going to blast up like it's been here all along.
Well, yeah, I think it's time that we start feeding
some mulberry leaves
to honey.
That should be part of the next video, is the day that we just let them in here and have them eat all the things. Normally, I'm having these kinds of garden tours with you in the morning and I have a cup of coffee. Instead, I have electrolytes. The mosquitoes are settling in for the night and I am their meal. But instead, I'm gonna leave you guys here while I go in and put a tiny toddler to bed with this last note. And it is, if you get anything from our gardening experience, it is you absolutely can DIY things. And I've loved having this space to experiment in. The biggest game changer for me was when we started getting Vego products into our garden. So I love the beds. I think everybody should have a bed, but I got to sing the song about these irrigation systems because they have changed everything this summer into something so manageable, from the customized settings to incremental watering. And when I look around my garden, these are the beds that are thriving. If there are any products that I've shared that sound great to you, go ahead and check out the Vego links below. And whether you're in an apartment or all you want to grow is tomatoes on your back porch, Vego's got you covered. Thanks for being with us today. We'll see you on the next one when we start to shift this whole space into fall garden mode.